Welcome to the 11th Peep Show episode of Bare Naked Bravery. My name is Emily Ann Peterson, and yes, I'm the host of the podcast. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I do a lot of other teaching to creative entrepreneurs for how to put themselves out there. If you are new to the podcast, I know we have a lot of new listeners lately, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. So just to give you a little insight, these Peep Shows are short little mini episodes where I talk about the kind of bravery that I personally have been encountering on a weekly basis. So you get to hear on Tuesdays awesome interviews from, like this week, Calvin Corelli, and next week you'll get to hear from his wife, Nomi Corelli. And I didn't set out to interview a husband-wife pair, but at the end of every recording of an interview episode, I ask the interviewee who they think is brave and who they think I should have on the show next. And a lot of times, I'll say this, a lot of times people suggest their husbands or wives or spouses. And I think that's normal. That's really wonderful. And I think we should probably have an episode about that coming up in the future. But Calvin just had a really amazing set of stories that Nomi has experienced. And I thought she would be I agreed with him. I thought that she would be a fantastic person to feature on the show. So look forward to her episode next Tuesday. A couple other announcements before I go into today's little episode, the rest of today's episode. I want you to know there's this awesome Facebook group. We started it a couple weeks ago. It's going phenomenally. There are so many really cool, brave people joining this Facebook group, and it's super rad. So you can go, the next time you're on Facebook, just go ahead and search in the search bar, Bare Naked Bravery, and we'll come right up. Second announcement is that I have pulled together a bravery bundle for you guys. So it is available on the front page of my website. And in the bravery bundle, you get 2 songs, an original song from me, an original song from the cello yoga project that I created, which is just layers of cello on top of each other. And the other original song by me is Horton's Hope, which is one of my personal favorites that I've done in the past couple years. And then we also have in that bravery bundle the coloring book, the Bare Naked Bravery coloring book, and a download for a printable worksheet of bravery boosting questions that you can ask yourself when you're facing a brave moment. So that all of those things are super great, and they're just waiting for you. So if you have not taken advantage of that yet, go ahead and do so. You just go to barenakedbravery.com or emilyannpeterson.com, and it'll come right up. So now that we have those things out of the way, what I wanted to chat about today is action and power of choice. And you know, when we talk, I talk a lot about the three main ingredients of bravery. The first being vulnerability, the second being imagination, and the third being improvisation. So that improvisation area is where I personally have been focusing lately. The improvisation is the ability to look around you, see what there is, see the opportunities that you have, and then use your power of choice and act on that. And, you know, I think that for a lot of people, that's the part that is really terrifying, including myself. That's terrifying for me still, which is part of the reason why I'm working on it. And I think, I know that making that choice to act and then actually acting, they're 2 separate things, right? When you make that acknowledgement to yourself, that internal bravery that, wow, I really need to do something about this. And then the actual doing something about it it's very different mindset altogether. And I have been really trying to clarify the difference between those 2 things, because I recognize that there's like in a couple areas of my life, dating being one of them. Also in preparing for some creative projects that I've got going on, the time of waiting is done. Like I'm like the egg has been cooked. The creative baby has been incubated. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to take initiative. It's time to move forward. It's time to take the next step. And it's time for me to not dawdle about it, like not take my time in doing it. Not necessarily rushing. I don't need to be rushing into it, but I do think that these areas of my life are important. Creativity and romance and relationships and communication and connection, those are things that really are important to me. And I have, for good reasons, have had a period of waiting in the last year or two. And it's time for that to come to an end. And I recognize that in my own journey with this, or in my own taking the next step, I have to watch out for giving up and being lazy and leaning on a lack of diligence and a lack of discipline. I'm recognizing that the time for action, the fact that I am going to act, that acting is a discipline, that moving forward, that is a discipline. The resisting laziness and resisting resistance, honestly, allowing the resistance to stand on its own and say, you know what, I'm feeling resistance against this thing, but this other thing is what I really need to do, and so I'm going to do it. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Sometimes when I talk, even with my students, my cello students, I'll just blabber on, and I hope that makes sense. So, basically the point is that resisting the inevitable things that are going to happen to you, only happen to you and for you, those things, that resistance only makes what you're trying to do harder. So if you can hold the resistance at a distance, ooh, that's an interesting rhyming phrase. If you can hold the resistance at a distance, then you can actually make that choice to move forward and act and make some progress and initiative to go, right? So that is what I'm working on these days, this week specifically. I am really excited for you guys to hear Nomi Corelli's episode coming up. Please remember to join the Facebook group if you are a Facebook person. If you're not a Facebook person, then obviously you don't have to join it. Doesn't have to be your thing. But if it's not your thing, then I definitely have a bravery bundle for you. It is just waiting for you on my website. So just go to barenakedbravery.com or emilyannpeterson.com. They go to the same place. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. Have a great weekend.